Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Week 9, Organizational Behavior, Fall 2020. I wanted to take a few minutes and talk about reflection number 2. When we look at Myers-Briggs, we need to remember these are preferences. They're not absolute. We adapt to different situations on an individual basis. So where we may not prefer that, we can still do that. So it's a preference, and it's a tool that can be used as you as an individual in your own performance, a tool to you as a manager to maximize your group's performance, but overall be able to better work with people. If you understand what their preferences are, you can address working with them in that context. It's actionable. It makes things easier, and especially when you're working in teams and groups, to have an understanding of that, to avoid the frustration. Why do they do that? Don't they just get it? And if we understand some of these things, it works. And I think I just want to go through, again, this is preference. So the first letter is our energy, our attitude. Where do we get that? Where do we get our energy? So we're introverted. We prefer the world of ideas and images. Extroverted, the outer world of people and things. Okay. Second letter, how do we take in and process information? Sensing and intuitive. Gathering things through the 5 senses, often the step-by-step. The intuitor, on the other hand, gathers information and processes it from patterns and meetings. A slightly different approach, but if you look at it, it ends up oftentimes in the same thing. It's just a matter of the how. So we want to really adjust what's the why. How do we make decisions? Thinking and feeling. Prefer basing decisions on objective principles and facts, on subjective human concerns and feelings. Approach to the world, judging or perceiving. Structure and order, flexibility and adaptability. So I want you to think about these as we go forward. I also thought it would be interesting to give you a sense of what our class is made up of and what the U.S. population is. We have an awful lot of ISTJs, as you can see right here. And our next strongest one is ENFJs. And we have, when you look at this, we pretty much track. Again, where they're very low in the population, they're very low with us. There's some anomalies, like right here and here. And then when we come down here, we're pretty consistent on that. But we have a lot of ENTJs, which again is a little anomaly here. But this gives you a picture of our class, and if we were together in person, we'd be able to do more around that. But think of groups that you have worked with. And when we look at it, there's two things I like to look at. Where do you focus your attention? Where do you get your energy? Extroversion or introversion? Where do we get our energy? And we're split 58-42, predominantly a group of E's, which if we were in person would probably have sparked a lot of discussion. But then is our temperament behaviors. How do we approach work? And I think when we look at it, we're a lot of sensing, judging, sensing, perceiving. But the strength is really our ends. The majority of people in the class are all ends. And sometimes we look at that FT and we're actually on the line. So these are just tools that we're using. They're preferences. But I want you to think about things as we're going through the class and when you're working in a team. This week, current events. This week, I would like you to work with your partner, complete the current events presentations. Schedule a time to present either this week or next week. Okay? Remember, the presentation counts for 13 points. And for many of you, you've got a lot of stuff going on. So if we can get these done, that will give you more time to focus on your other classes as we get towards the end of the semester. Remember, you need to participate in 4 presentations other than your own, and they run about an hour. If you have not participated in one before, a presentation or discussion, I suggest you come to a presentation so that you understand how it works and where we're trying to go. And again, it's 13 points of your grade. It's how do we engage you in how much depth can we get as a result of these. So how can you learn? This week's presentations, we have on Monday, we have Nick and Owen are going to be talking about JP Morgan requiring in-person work, and that's at noon. John, Andrew, and Slade will discuss leadership in the time of COVID from the perspective of the Prime Minister of Iceland at 4:30. And you can join the discussion by clicking here. Thursday, no one has signed up yet, but if you would like to do it at 10 or 11 on that day, please let me know. On Friday, the 30th, Dylan and Zach will be talking about the dynamic workplace at 11, and I have an opening at noon. So if you'd like to fill one of these slots, please let me know. Join us. Here are the links to that. And if that's what you want you to do, you need to participate in 4, as I said, for 9 points. I know I am repetitive on this, purposely so that you don't get left behind. We're coming into the end of October, bringing into November, and Thanksgiving is not that far away. If you have any questions, please let me know.